Amid the majestic mountains, magnificent landscapes, and varied shoreline of Vancouver Island, Canada, the epic tale of a noble whale unfolded in tranquil ocean waters. This true love story involved a young male orca named Luna, who became separated from his family and then befriended humans while staying in Nootka Sound on the island's west coast. Luna's amiability attracted journalists from around the world who wanted to witness and document the event.
My name is Mike Parfit. My wife Suzanne Chisholm and I came to the town of Gold River near the fjord called Nootka Sound to write an article about a whale. It was supposed to be a little story, a curiosity. So we came here for 3 weeks. We stayed a little longer than we expected. 3 years. Because a whale story is never a little story. And a life does not have to be human to be great.
Saving Luna is a 93-minute documentary based on the couple's extraordinary experiences with the orca. The film depicts the heartwarming relationship between human and whale. Since its release, Saving Luna has garnered over 19 international awards. Supreme Master Television had the honor of speaking with Mr. Parfit about his interactions with Luna and his work in producing the loving film.
The story of Luna is the story of a little whale who appeared on the coast of Vancouver Island several years ago all by himself. Nobody knew where he'd come from, nobody knew who he was, and he started trying to make friends with people. By making friends, I'm just saying that's sort of approximately what humans would call it. We don't know really what he wanted, except that orcas are extremely social animals. He didn't need food from people. He had plenty of food, but he kept coming up to people and looking at them and playing with their boats and eventually even sort of playing tug or fetch with people.
Whale needs and wants and craves attention.
I felt that he was desperately lonely.
Here's a whale that doesn't follow the rules.
It was incredibly surreal.
I touched him! Now I touched him that one.
And I remember being amazed that he wanted to see us as much as we wanted to see him.
Michael Parfit had many unique encounters with Luna.
And he did all kinds of these amazing things trying to set up some sort of a bond. And one of the things that he really loved to do was roll over on his side and look at you and make eye contact. And that was one of the striking things that people noticed.
When he pops up and he looks at you
in a sort of contemplative way,
you would be mesmerized or something.
I don't know, he just had a way of getting inside of my head and my heart.
People from all walks of life, including government officials, scientists, environmentalists, localists, and tourists, who came to catch a glimpse of Luna, were touched by his desire for friendship. Most showed great concern for the welfare of this charming mammal. Eventually, the gentle orca became a symbol of love in many hearts. The indigenous peoples, also known as the First Nations, believed that Luna represented a respected spirit.
There's a First Nations group there called the Mo-Chut-Muchlet people, and they, one of their chiefs, actually their main chief, had died just about the time that Luna showed up, and they believed that Luna was sort of a reincarnation. In our words, we would say reincarnation. It was a little more complicated than that, but they felt that he carried the spirit of this chief who had died. And to the First Nations, orcas are extremely revered. They believe that orcas essentially maintain the justice of the seas, whereas the wolf has the same role on land. And they often see these two roles as being interchangeable. An orca will come up out of the water and turn into a wolf in their culture.
Up next, we'll have more from our interview with Mr. Michael Parfit, co-director of the touching documentary Saving Luna. So please stay tuned. We'll be right back after these messages.
I'd say personality-wise, he sort of knew what he wanted. As he was somehow spunky, he was lively, he was engaging.
Orcas are extremely sociable animals with a highly organized system of group relations. They stay together in pods of 5 to 30 males, females, and calves. A community is composed of many pods related by bloodline. Members of a community swim through the ocean together.
This little guy didn't have any whales, so he apparently decided that if you can't be with the species you are, then make friends with the species you're with.
Luna had lost the other members of his pod and was living by himself in the Nootka Sound near Vancouver Island, Canada, when he was discovered. After falling in love with this affable orca, Michael Parfit and his wife Suzanne Chisholm decided to make a documentary about this friendly marine mammal. The result was the award-winning work Saving Luna. By virtue of spending so much time with Luna, the couple began to look out for his welfare.
You know, we cared about him along with a lot of other people up there, but the great majority of the people really loved Luna. So we decided to step out of being journalists and to become activists. We proposed a way of giving actual consistent friendship to Luna, because clearly what he wanted was some sort of relationship with people, and there were no whales there to give him the relationship that he really needed. So this was a sort of a secondary thing that he appeared to need. And so we tried to get the government to give us a permit to give him consistency. Even though a lot of people were giving him affection, it was transitory. It would come and go. People would be out there one day and then they'd be gone.
Michael Parfit and Suzanne Chisholm stayed with Luna for a period of 5 months.
That's right, we did. I wound up going out in the boat almost every day and sleeping out on the water in this little boat anchored close to the shore. And most of the time I would just sit and watch Luna, but sometimes I would lead him away if he was getting into trouble by banging up somebody's boat to try and make contact. I'd lead him away from that problem. And this experience was so powerful for us to go through.
During the 5 months he spent with Luna, Michael developed a special bond with the young whale.
He was clearly trying to communicate with us. He would do all kinds of things. He would slap the water. He would come up beside the boat and he would whistle. And sometimes he would make whistling sounds that sounded like the motor, or I heard him whistle once like a chainsaw, because there was a forested area, there was a lot of chainsaws going on, and he would copy whistles. And one of the guys who really made friends with him was a young First Nations guy named Jamie, and he's really one of the stars of our film as well. And he would whistle to Luna, and Luna would whistle back. So there was communication, but what it meant, we don't know. Clearly what he was trying to do was get connection. But there was a lot of things. He would often slap the water with his fin, with his pectoral fin, or with his tail. And whales do that. It has to be some sort of communication, because it changes the sound a lot in the water. You know, you slap the water, if you're underwater, you really hear something. No scientists that we have talked to knows what that is actually all about. So he really tried to communicate by doing things like that with us a lot. One time we were out in a boat smaller than this, in a little Zodiac, and he was probably almost a nautical mile away. And he was at another boat, so we're sitting there watching him with the binoculars, and so he was just way out there. And all of a sudden I noticed that he had left that boat and he was coming straight at us. And every time he came up, he'd slap his fin, its tail, just bang on the water. And he came in a straight line to us, and it was a large piece of water. He knew we were there from all that distance. I mean, you could have just drawn a line straight down there with a ruler. And he slapped the water, he slapped the water, he slapped the water. He came to us. There's no question that he had something on his mind that he was trying to tell us. Either, come with me, I've got something to show you, or, all sorts of things.
Through his interactions with Luna, Michael experienced how intelligent and sensitive animals truly are. Since then, he looks at every one of our precious co-inhabitants on Earth in a new way. Luna truly has brought great changes and inspiration to his life.
To me, it seems as if there's this wall that normally stands between us humans and wild beings, built up in our minds by fear and respect. I've always liked reading stories to kids about going through that wall and making friends with mysterious creatures on the other side, but I never thought something like that could actually happen.
Caring viewers, thank you for your company today on Animal World, Our Co-Inhabitants. Please join us again tomorrow for part 2 of our program on Saving Luna, an orca love story. Coming up next is enlightening entertainment after noteworthy news here on Supreme Master Television. May we all cherish and care for our fellow marine beings.
For more details, please visit www.suprememastertv.com/AW